Hi everyone, this is Rajita Devi, Government Degree College, Hayat Nagar, Department of Computer Science. Today I am going to discuss about on BSc 6th semester Web Technologies. In this I am going to discuss about on these things. Today I am going to discuss about on these topics. Scripting languages. After that, advantages of JavaScript and variables in JavaScript and data types. Then I am going to discuss about on these things, mathematical functions in JavaScript and operators in JavaScript, and then control statements and functions. These are the today I am going to discuss about on these things one by one. This is next in this scripting language. How to use a scripting language. What is a scripting language? A scripting language is a font of a programming language that is usually interpreted and then rather than completed, which is having a scripting language is a programming language that is usually interpreted, which is having which is and completed and complete and then compiled, and rather than which is having compiled. And scripting language is interpreted one command at a time, which is a one command. Scripting language is nothing but interpreted is one command. And then scripting language are often written to facilitate enhance of features of some websites only. Scripting language is divided into two types. They are C client side scripting languages and then server side scripting languages. And then what is after that I am going to discuss about a client scripting languages. This scripting language is executed by all the browsers. In this web page is executed client side only, which having that means program will be written in a client side only and then executed in client side, and output will be displayed in the client side only. In this client scripting language, which is a scripting language, in these browsers in page executed client side only client side, and then the main program will be written in a client only. After that, client systems and the output will be displayed in the client system only. Example for the client scripting languages, which is an example for the JavaScript and VB script. After this, server scripting language. This is a scripting language is executed by the web server. That main program will be written in a client, which is having a client server side scripting language, which is written in a client only and executed server system, and output will be displayed in a client system. Example of server side scripting languages are ASP, active server pages. These are the server side scripting languages, which is a scripting language and executed only on web servers only. That mean program will be written in a client only, which are executed in servers only, and then output will be displayed in the client systems. These are the ASPs, examples of this server side scriptings, which is shown in the figure. These are the internet and then local computers, and some web server is there, which is having some data will be shown in the figure, which is having that internet which having interconnect internet, which is a data flow with, which is in these. And then next one is a JavaScript. It is a client side scripting language which is used to for creating dynamic and interactive web pages, which is used for only creating dynamic web pages and interacting with the web pages only. And most of the internet applications are built using JavaScripts, which is hence HTML alone will not be sufficient in making these applications interacting in the HTML incorporated a simple language is referred as a JavaScript. By using these JavaScripts, we can make the static HTML web pages into interacting and the dynamic web pages also. This is about on a JavaScript. After that, I discuss about on the benefits. What are the benefits of JavaScript? And JavaScript has a number of big benefits, which is having who want to make web pages and dynamically. Widely supported by all the web browsers, it allows many pages effects like user time on the web pages and pop-ups like that. We are using tool tips like for that purpose. These are the benefits for the JavaScript, and the color changes which are using for applying text and image translation, JavaScript will allow client-side user for the validations. These are the benefits for the JavaScripts, and the advantages of the JavaScripts, which is having so many will be there. And then an interpreted language, which is having interpreting language in JavaScript is an interpreted language which requires no compilation steps. In this provides an easily development process, which is a easily development process, and embedded within HTML. JavaScript does not require any special or separate editors for program to be written, and editing or compiled, it can be written in an HTML editing like a notepad you have to choose, or along with the HTML, and saved with an extension of HTML only. These are the advantages of JavaScript. And next one is JavaScript can be react to the event, and a JavaScript can be set to execute when something happens, and like when a page has finished loaded, or when a user clicks on a HTML element, which is some other advantage of JavaScript. And next one is the JavaScript can read and written HTML element. A JavaScript can read and change the content of an HTML element. After that, JavaScript can be used to validate data. A JavaScript can be used to validate from data before it is submitted to a server. And the next advantage is a JavaScript can be used to create colors. How to create the colors? This is advantages of JavaScript. A JavaScript can be used to store and retrieve information on the visitors' computers. This is another advantages of JavaScript. And then JavaScript basics will be there, and then inserting JavaScript in dot into HTML pages. We can insert the JavaScript into HTML page by using a script tag, and script indicates starting tag, and script will be there indicating the closing tag, and the script tag has only one attribute is there called the language, and then the language attribute has two values, and then JavaScript and VBScript is there. After that, a syntax which is having a scripting language and JavaScript, you have to give that type. Then this JavaScript, where Java can be used in HTML, and JavaScript can be placed in various locations in HTML, such as a JavaScript in head something sections. You have to take that script in body sections. How can we select the type? You have to take on that sections will be there. How to take on that. This is an example for both head and body sections. And basic rules for the JavaScript statements and end with a semicolons, which is having some rules will be there, and JavaScript case sensitive, and two comments will be there, and which is have a single line comment and multiple comment. These are an example for the single slash and slash with a star, and curly braces can be used to indicate a block of code of functions, which is having if a function has a parameter, they are placed in parentheses. JavaScript files can also stored separately with the fixed extension called JS. The output of the JavaScript can be seen any browser. And then the JavaScript program, which is having a JavaScript example and scripting language, and then next one is document and write welcome to the JavaScript. After that, the next one, this is an example for that JavaScript program. And then to include how to include or write a JavaScript program, we must use a scripting tag which a language as a attribute. Here language attribute specifies scripting language which we are using that program to print output on the web browser. We should use document return function and the script only. And then variable in JavaScript, how can we initialize a variable? A variable is a name of a memory location which stores some value, which is a variable, and then it can be manipulated at any time in the program. In JavaScript, the variables are the same or other programming languages. To declare the variable in JavaScript, we are using var. Some keyword will be there. In this syntax of var, variable name, and var some variable name, and to assign a value for a variable, we can use assignment operator for this equal. And then var variable name, variable value, and variable name, and variable some example is there. Var, which is a variable, some variable is a, some letter will be there, which in this we are storing a some which is having some value. and var name is equal to JavaScript. And this is a basic rule for creating a variable. After that, a variable name should maximum 31 characters. A variable should begin with alphabetic underscores, and a variable name should not begin with a digit, and white space are not allowed in between the variable. And variable name is a case sensitive, that is makes is a different form marks, and then some word should not be used as a variable names. And data types. The next topic is data types. JavaScript data types are divided into 4 types. First one is a Boolean data type, and string data type, and null data type, and number data type. Boolean data type is this data type can consisting of 2 logical values that either true or false. Example, var name and then true. Where here var is a Boolean data type where it display true value, and then Boolean which is used for only either true or false. Boolean data type is, and string data type a collection of characters which are enclosed in double quotes only or single quotes. You have to choose a string whenever we are using string data type. Var name, JavaScript, and var name, and something you have to choose on that alphabet and numeral. And then here var is a string data type which displayed a JavaScript, and null data type is there. The null variable value is a special value, is a JavaScript. In this data type, the user does not want to initialize that type of value, and particular value then user can assign null value, which is a null data type. After that, number data type. This data type opposite of a string data type. In this, the value is declared without quote, or we can assign number. And then where a is equal to some, you have to take up. This is an example for this data type. Title you have to take, and JavaScript, and then you have to take a body some, and then scripting language, and then next one var age, and then var marks, something you have to take on this one. After that, the continuation of this value, and you have to take on another one, and then var string, and some you have to take on some example. After that, uppercase and lowercase you have to choose. This function is string of all uppercase characters, or convert them into these are equivalent lowercase strings, are string name to lowercase, and var, and then some string web technologies, and document written in that lowercase. This is an output for this. And concatenation, 2 strings are combined with these strings. Another this is a simple used to combine 2 strings. And example for the string to some you have to word two words you have to take, that will be combined with the both are. And character, this is a function returns a character those indicate index value is supplied as argument. And then in this string name and character a and index value will be there, and then you have to take a string. JavaScript is the document and return then, and char a, and this is an output for this a. And then substring only. This is a function take a 2 argument and then the length of and index respectively. The index argument specified the initial character, and you have to take that length of argument are specified and length of character to be displayed. And syntax is a string name, and your substring will be the initial, that value and length argument, and where that string var script is their document and return. This is an output as a script, and substring will be there. And this is a function takes 2 arguments, that is the index and end respectively. Here index argument and specified the initial characters, and the end specified of the last character to be displayed, which is a substring. This is an example for var, and string is as JavaScript and document written, and string substring will be there. Index, this function returns the position of the first occurrence of the specified value in the string, which is the index of. This is a string name, index of some character you have to take, that value and string, that's that type of JavaScript. After that, document written in this string and index of some value you have to take. This is an example for program. And title, and then function will be the head and is there. After that, scripting language h1 alignment is there, center you have to take, and then language and document and uppercase and lowercase. After that scripting language, document, concatenate and string and concatenate at string 1. Substring is there, substring and which is having some values are there, and then index of substrings will be there. This is an output for this program. String functions which is having the output for the above program. Syntax for the mathematical method name and numeric values. The different type of mathematical functions in a math object, which is having some mathematical functions in Java, JavaScript. After that, in these math functions, in order to perform several mathematical calculations, which is having a JavaScript has developed a numerical mathematical functions. This function or methods are entities of the math object. To utilize this function into our scripting, we need to follow the given syntax, which is a mathematical name and then numeric value, the different type of mathematical functions in math object. After that, some math functions will be there. Min, maximum. This is a min, which is displayed minimum value of two numerical values entire into min function, which is a syntax. Min, some n1 and n2 will be there. Document, written and math, some you have to take any value 2 and comma, which is having only minimum is in those two. 2 is the minimum, which is displayed on the output. And then maximum, it displays maximum value of two numerical values which is entered in the maximum functions. And then next one is syntax for the maximum is called n1 and n2, and document written is the maximum math maximum 2,5. Output in this output is the 5. Math maximum is the 5, and the absolute, which is with this this is used for display the absolute value of a numerical value which is entered into a absolute functions. And then syntax is absolute n1. Example, document written math absolute 7 and 8 will be there, which is having 7 and 8. Absolute is it means which are having only 7 and 8. And cell is this displays the rounded value of integer and entered into the cell function. In this